I'm Amanda Graham. For a number of years, I've been teaching Northern Studies 200 research in the North. We've been asked to think more about doing research at the college. We actually started out with 3 choices. We were going to look at either the college history or the larger region, the Northwest Borderlands region. And then a friend of mine suggested that there's a conference coming up of the World War I, that maybe we should do World War I history because nobody's written about it. And so I offered the students the choice, World War I or the other 2, and they said, World War I.
I'm just starting to look at 1913 today, so maybe it's more jolly before the war, but I'm seeing if there's more advertisements for clothes and parties and stuff beforehand. But it seemed to go on, like life seemed to go on when the war was happening. I'm looking at everyday things that the newspaper is reporting on as opposed to the wartime stuff. So I'm looking at how war has affected the everyday lives of the people in Dawson.
Going to the archives was a lot different than just like sitting at home in my pajamas on my laptop. It's like you actually have to get up, get dressed, and go to the archives. It was really interesting to see how much information is actually not on the internet. And I mean, people who, like my generation who grew up like with the digital age, like I think we really think that, oh, we can just get everything from the internet, whereas that's not the case at all. So I think that was pretty good. So it wasn't actually something that like I found in the newspaper, but just the process. I was like, wow.
I focused on the history of the Dawson News and how it got started and the more technical and production aspects of putting out a newspaper and the distribution of paper, and learning about what it took to start up a newspaper company back in 1900, 1901, and the process of buying a linotype machine before computers were ever heard of, and the month-and-a-half journey it took to get a linotype machine from New York State to Dawson, and 4 or 5 different legs of the journey, and the journey itself costing hundreds of dollars more than the machine cost itself.
Each of the students has found a way into that material of their own. I gave them very little direction, suggested things to look for, but it was their observations and their own what they saw in their own vision of what they saw in those newspapers. On several occasions, I stopped to talk to students who were, even if they were secondhand at a remove from the documents by looking at microfilms, they're still very, very much taken with the idea that this is stuff that is 100 years old, and was for a number of them a profound revelation, a profound realization for them that it was, this stuff is 100 years old, and it's there, and we can read it, and we can be like those people who read these papers